Hello everyone, this is Babamots. Welcome to another Homeworlds game review. I'm going to take another look at a game between Shinuito and Samraku. I reviewed a game between these two recently. Samraku won, and that was their first victory at Homeworlds, and so they now have some actual ELO points. Let's get started. Shinuito takes yellow banker, and Samraku takes, well, I don't know how this manages to be a longish game, but for some reason Samraku has taken a small as their first ship. I might not bother uploading this, we'll see. But if this turns into an interesting game, this will make a heck of a thumbnail. Okay. Shinuito will build, Samraku will build, so... Alright, I guess I should state the obvious here. There are two enormous problems with Samraku's home. One is that they have not chosen a large ship. It's a little questionable whether Samraku will ever manage to get a large ship. Shinuito could start moving their own large ship across the galaxy right now, and probably invade and start, especially if they traded it for, say, yellow or red, marched across the galaxy, start capturing everything in Samraku's home, and it would turn out badly for Samraku. The other big problem with Samraku's home is that they have no blue. This is not a fatal problem, but in order to trade for other colors, Samraku will have to move to a blue star to trade. This slows your game down so much that I don't clearly recall ever seeing somebody who tried this, a no blue start, winning. I might have done it once against a brand new player, but definitely not recommended. Okay, by building the medium, Shinuito left the mediums available for Samraku. So Samraku got upgraded from nothing but smalls to now having a medium. So Samraku is already in a better position than they were. Shinuito, I think, would have been better off diversifying, maybe locking Samraku out of red by trading the little green for red. That would have been really devastating. Shinuito now spreading out, discovering a large green. Now, they did this in the last game as well, and I remarked on it being a really bad move. But here, it makes more sense because Samraku should be desperately trying to get their hands on a large ship. Since all they've got is green, green is the most likely color for them to actually achieve that in. So by taking a large green out of the bank, Shinuito may be denying Samraku access to larges forever. Okay, but maybe they're thinking about the last game and how that green in a green system did no good. Alright, Samraku spreading out the greens. Shinuito sacrificing green for 2 builds. I mean, they didn't have to do it that way. They could actually have sacrificed the G3. Okay, so... Gosh, well... I'm trying to balance between... I wish I could go back. I wish Board Game Arena would let me go back and look at the previous position. Okay, they could have sacrificed the G3 to build the G2 just like they did, and build a G3, and build another G3. The greens would all be gone from the bank, and Samraku would really be toast. Just building a single G2 is not so good. Oh, they took it back. Alright. Do they see that? Oh, well, did I miscount? I miscounted. Okay. Because if they sacrifice one G3, now there's another G3 in the bank. And so if they then proceed to build G2, G3, I don't know the best way to use my my whiteboard here, and build another G3. Now there's one G3 remaining in the bank, which Samraku would get to build. And then the position is actually pretty even. So what I was saying about the G3 sacrifice is not actually a good idea, but there you go. Okay, Shinuito, I think making a good choice to make it harder for Samraku to to get larger ships. Samraku builds another green. Shinuito sacrifices G2 to build Y1. Okay, so this is the G2 sacrifice and rebuild that actually makes sense, because they rebuilt the G2 and they built something in a system where they didn't have access to green technology. When they've been sacrificing G2 to rebuild the G2 and then build something in a colony where they already had green technology, that just looks silly, I think. All right, Samraku now. Trading for a blue. That's all right, but getting locked out of yellow is the bigger problem here. I think they would have been better off trading for yellow. Shinuito builds more green. I don't like that too much because it opens up the mediums for Samraku again, and the larges are just around the corner. Samraku gets a medium, which now if Shinuito builds the last small yellow, Samraku can trade their medium green for medium yellow, and Samraku's looking pretty good. Okay, Shinuito, ooh, that's really... They really need to be trying to cut off access to the larges. Okay, and Samraku finally manages to get their hands on a large ship. Wow. All right, well, so I think Shinuito did not understand the huge advantage they had by having a large ship when their opponent didn't. I think really long ago they should have traded this green for a color that Samraku didn't have. A color of one of the home stars would have been nice, so that even if it got overpopulated, they'd be taking out a star, and then they should have taken the 3 turns to march that large across the universe to Samraku's home and started capturing stuff. And if Samraku had ships the right size to capture things back, then Shinuito just needed to take a couple turns, trade for a larger red back at home maybe, so that they could sacrifice and just start capturing everything in Samraku's home. All right, but now Samraku has caught up, and honestly, I wouldn't say they have the advantage, since they still don't have a yellow ship, but they are a few moves away from being ahead, since they have more material. Ooh, so Shinuito sacrificing the yellow to advance the green, threatening overpopulation here. I think what Samraku wants to do here is they could either overpopulate that little green themselves, say sacrifice G3 to build G3 here in Bleb and rebuild their G3 at home and build a B1. Someday there's going to be a sandbox tool and I won't have to write the names of ships here. Or they might like to sacrifice the B1 to trade either the G1 or G2 for blue. Having blue at your home would be really nice. If they did that, then again, I think that would put some green in the bank that would block Shinuito from the large green build, at least partly. And Samraku would be in pretty good shape. Let's see what they come up with. spreading out the greens. That is the biggest danger here. Okay, I didn't even point that out. Shinuito was poised for a bluebird win by sacrificing the Y1 to move the last green in. So Samraku needed to either trade or move one of the greens at home. By simply moving one of the greens, though, they've left the G3 in the bank for Shinuito. They can either build it at home and have an additional large, or they can build it in the colony and overpopulate a bunch of Samraku's greens. Yeah, so that was not... Just spreading out the greens, I think, is not the best choice. Shinuito doing a simple build. If they'd sacrificed the G3 instead, they could have got an additional build, say, of the yellow. Okay, but things are still not terrible for Samraku, even though they're down a large. Considering they started with no large ship and no blue, I think they're doing pretty well. But they're going to need to find a way to take advantage of this blue ship. They need to sacrifice it or move it to shake things up at home. Okay. Shinuito just continuing to build green, I guess. Yeah, alright. Samraku. Yeah, this is good. The factory rebuilding the G3 and getting a couple more greens out of it. They've emptied the green bank. That's good. Shinuito advances their green. Now Samraku should diversify their colony, but there are worse things. Trading for blue, trading for yellow, I think is better. They've been hurting for yellow. Alright, Shinuito now making a double threat by advancing the green. So this is both a bluebird win threat and it's threatening to build this last green to take out the greens here in Samraku's colony. So, I don't know the best thing for Samraku to do here. I would consider sacrificing the G3 to build green 2 in the colony, taking out the greens, rebuilding my G3, and then using my last build action on, say, another B1. Yeah, so and then one of those blues could be sacrificed to diversify my home. I think that's my pick. Let's see what they come up with. Sacrificing the B1 for to trade for blue at home. Samraku now has a very healthy home, which they didn't start off with. It's taken them this long, but it's a home that doesn't scare me so much anymore. They've got access to all 4 colors. They are going to lose some ships here. Shinuito, I think, should sacrifice G3 to build green in the colony, but but not actually kill anything yet. So sacrifice G3 to build G2 and rebuild the G3, and then call catastrophe in the colony. Let's see if they come up with that as well. Yes, they do. All right. But still not that bad for Samraku. I'm kind of rooting for Samraku because they started off with such a silly home. They're down a large, but that can be dealt with. Okay, building more green. I think, honestly, they should be thinking about trying to build the blues, since that's what Shinuito doesn't have. Or, you know, even get a red ship at some point. Who knows? People seem to avoid getting red as long as they can, and I don't blame them necessarily. That happens in a lot of my games too. Okay, Shinuito's spreading out their greens. Samraku also spreading out the greens. Shinuito building green. Building yellow. Okay. Samraku could take that last small yellow or keep building green. I think both players might be feeling like this is a green stalemate now. Nobody wants to build the last one because the other player will get the medium. Yeah, Samraku going for blue. I think that is a good choice. Alright, Shinuito getting the first red ship. Samraku should also be thinking about getting a red. They could trade, say, their G1 at home for a red one. Building yellow. That's not going to be great. Shinuito can invade the colony now. And now I don't honestly know. I think now it's too late to trade for red once the invader's already there. Yeah, Shinuito just captures the red that Samraku just traded for. Yep, that's thanks for I love capturing red by sacrifice because I sacrifice my red, but then I pick up red again. And it's a very satisfying feeling, I think. Okay, Samraku, I think, is in trouble. Ooh. Trading their large at home for red. I don't love that. It matches one of their home stars, and if Shinuito just builds some more red in this colony, they're getting close to having a threat to Samraku's only large ship and red star. Shinuito just continues gobbling up ships. So the problem with this is, so Samraku is traded for red, apparently, so that they could invade here. They would have been better off trading the blue for red, the blue 2, and invading with the formerly, well, let's see, it was a green ship a moment ago. Okay, the green isn't so good because it would have been overpopulated. But now Shinuito can just sacrifice G2, build 2 reds, and overpopulate. They think they can invade. That's not going to work out. Whew. Okay. Samraku just got handed a big advantage. Okay, Samraku can just capture this invader, and then they can proceed to capture things in this colony that don't run away. Does Samraku recognize that they can use their red ship to capture the red invader? Yes, they do. All right, so Shinuito got caught off guard by that. That's something that happens to new players pretty often. They forget that they can use star powers, especially red. They're accustomed to using blue star power, but not the red so much. Okay. Shinuito now sacrificing the green to build some yellow. Okay. Samraku, I think, should just capture that little yellow ship. Then they will have a yellow, and they'll even have a place where they can build yellow. That's great. I'm a little spooked that Samraku doesn't have a large ship at home, but other than that, they're looking really quite good. If Samraku built some more green at home, then they'd be more insulated against one of these greens coming across the galaxy for an invasion. Okay, Shinuito getting back into the red. Samraku building green. And, okay, that's getting a little spooky. Shinuito realizing that their 2 larges at home aren't really doing anything for them. They might just be thinking of defending their colony, which is perfectly good, but they also might have their eye on invading Samraku's home if they ever get a chance to trade this G3 for another color, or if Samraku's green concentration drops at home for some reason. Okay. Samraku also takes a green. Shinuito will Discover a red star. That's interesting. I guess that's just for the sake of... Okay, no, that's not too wild. Um, they want to spread out the yellows to build more yellow, I think. And they want a red star to defend against an invading medium, so they wouldn't have to sacrifice their little red for it. Okay, Samraku trading G2 for Y2. Pretty good. It drops their green concentration so they can build more green. And it gets them another yellow. And finally a yellow 2. Which increases your mobility substantially. Okay. Shinuito now building that medium green. Samraku builds medium green as well. Now, Shinuito might be tempted to just build green at home. But Samraku would be able to catch up on larges if they sacrifice. So if Shinuito doesn't respond correctly now, I think Samraku would be well advised to sacrifice the Y2 to move 2 greens into Shinuito's colony to take out that large ship. Then they'd be even on larges. Okay, so Shinuito sacrificing the G2, rebuild the G2, and building the Y1 over here. That's pretty good. So that's another good use of the mini factory, since Shinuito didn't have green technology here in this colony. Okay, and the larges are open. Shinuito has a place to build while Samraku doesn't. That's quite good. Okay, Samraku spreads out the yellows. But Shinuito, I think, will get 1. They should. I don't think they can build. They should build 2. Oh, well, yeah, they should. Yeah, they should. Even though 1 can be overpopulated, they still get an additional large ship, and Samraku is probably going to lose their Y2 to overpopulate these. Oh, not so much. This is turning into a bit of a problem. Shinuito has more and more large ships, and Samraku does not have a large ship at home. Samraku does not want to simply move their large red home, but they should be making arrangements to get their large ship back to their home safely. Okay, Shinuito now invading with the Y3. Now, Shinuito doesn't have the material to capture 2 ships at once. So anything that they capture, Samraku can just capture back. For now. But Shinuito can trade one of their larges for red, and then they'll be poised to win quite quickly. All right. Samraku just building a G2. Not going to cut it, I don't think. Well, I think they're hoping for a big green invasion. And it could work if Shinuito doesn't think to trade their green. Okay, sacrificing the little red to capture, but Samraku can just capture that right back. They should have just captured that right back, because if they leave Shinuito with a medium red, now they can capture 2 ships at once, and they're getting closer to victory much faster. I don't think Samraku has the time to fuss around with building more greens. Shinuito just capturing the medium. Okay. This is really down to the wire here. Samraku could have gone for a draw by just capturing back and forth if Shinuito didn't realize that trading for a larger red was necessary. Okay, Samraku, I think their last chance is just to move in a couple of greens and hope that Shinuito doesn't think to trade. That's not going to work. Shinuito captures another ship, Okay, Shinuito wins on their next turn with an R2 sacrifice unless Samraku gets around to defending here. Just moving one green into Shinuito's home. No, the red 2 sacrifice takes it. Okay, well, um, that was definitely a game between newer players with some things to learn. But by showing the things they did not know yet, we have all learned a little or been reminded of some things. I am impressed that Samraku made as much of a game of it as they did, considering their poor Homeworld setup. Some later mistakes ended up clinching it for Shinuito. That's it for now, except that if you would like to suggest a game for me to review, then take a look at the form in the video description. Thanks for watching.